guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the part 2 of that video of the previous video about our new purchase, our new investment, which is a house here in Canada. It's our first home, and I spoke about us buying a house and the things we were looking at before buying the house, right? So we considered all those factors and felt like it was a good time to buy the house, and there was an opportunity that came up and we decided to buy the house. When I'm doing a tour of the house, I'm going to tell you what the opportunity was, and I would like you to stay tuned. Wish me well, wish me congratulations in the comments. The last time I posted a video, I told you guys to guess what the good news is. Some people were right, some people DM'd me to confirm, some people went to go and follow me on Instagram. And if you've not followed me on Instagram, my Instagram name is the same with my YouTube name, Stels Lucci. I post a lot of things there. Go and follow me on my Instagram at Stels Lucci. So basically, in the last video I was talking about the concept of the house we got. If you've not watched it, please go and watch it. I really shed light into the things we considered before buying the house. And I was lastly talking about the kitchen, and I said the kitchen is not the open style kitchen, and I really don't like open style kitchen anyways. So I like enclosed kitchen, and we're able to get the house that has an enclosed kitchen. So I talked about the condo fees, and I also talked about property tax. Now we are wondering, how much am I paying in property tax? Now property tax varies on the location as well and the type of house. I also forgot to mention, with the condo fees, it depends on your lot. Now your lot is like the lawn in front of your house and the size of the lawn in front of your house, or the allocation of the house you have. It's a townhouse, so we got a townhouse, which is a row of houses. So if, for example, if the allocation of the house is wide, you are paying more condo fees compared to someone whose allocation is not so much. Glory be to God, our allocation is not so much. It's just a slim, tall building. It's not like wide, it doesn't have like extreme wide sides. So our condo fees is between 400 to 500. I'm not going to give the exact amount, but that's the range. Then our property taxes is yearly, so it depends on how you want to pay. Do you want to pay monthly, do you want to pay quarterly, or do you want to just close it? I don't know if you can actually pay once in the whole year. I really don't know, but a lot of people I know do quarterly payments or monthly payments. So our property tax is between 2,500 to 3,000. That is the range of our property tax, between 2,500 to 3,000. So if you bring down that amount monthly and still calculate the condo fees and the mortgage payments, is still something we can afford, right? So I spoke about why we chose to buy the townhouse. I spoke about our readiness to buy the house. Then the next thing I want to talk about is our process for buying the house. Now, because we bought this house directly from the seller, like I told you, it was an opportunity that came up. Because we bought this house directly from the seller, we did not have to pay realtor fees. Now, realtor fees basically is you getting a realtor, someone who is a real estate agent, for example, to help you shop, and and this realtor has to be someone who has your best interest at heart, make good negotiations for you. But we were our own realtors. We did not have to get a realtor because we bought this house directly from the seller. Before we even proceeded to say, oh, we're interested in the house, we had to put a condition that we need someone who does home inspection to come and inspect the house. Now, if you don't know any home inspection company, if you have Yellow Pages, you can check for home inspection people on Yellow Pages, or you can just Google just home inspection people close to me. I think that was what we did, and we got a couple. Please don't just go with the first person you see. Why? These people don't have like uniform price. Like the first person we called told us 1,500 to do home inspection, and it's not as if we didn't give the description of the house. We told him, oh, it's a townhouse, a 2-bedroom townhouse with a 1-bedroom basement. We want to buy the house, and we want to come and inspect it to see what needs fixing and if it's in good order for purchase, right? So the first person we told us bill is 1,500. My husband called another person, he said 1,200. Just to come, and the thing is, they'll just come and check the house and give you a report. They're not fixing anything, They are not fixing anything. They will just come and inspect the house and tell you the problem. They're only just to spot problems and tell you the problem. They are not fixing anything. They're just spotting problems, telling you what the problem is. Then it's your own bukata. Go and sort it out. Decide if you want to buy the house or not. Our advice, if you're buying a house that is old, do home inspection. And if you're buying a house that is new, still go ahead and do home inspection, because you never can tell if the contractor did the work 100%. So then finally my husband called somebody. I'll tell you a twist to this. My husband called somebody. He said, okay, he was going to charge us $500, but we will still pay tax. So tax is 13% off the amount. So $500 that he was going to charge us for the home inspection. And because my husband was busy with work, I said, okay, the next day I told my husband, okay, give me his number, let me call him. So I called him and he told me $700. I'm like, bro, wait, don't increase the price. See the amount that it was not agreeing. No, and I told my husband, please, you should take a break from work and call him. So my husband now called him, now reminded him of the negotiation that they had a day before, and he agreed to collect 500. I was like, oh, because I'm a woman, you want to come and dupe me? Sometimes let's just allow the men handle it. Don't interfere. Allow the men handle it. So the home inspection we did was $500. We also paid tax actually. So he came in, we booked a time and availability. He looked at the house, you know, told us that we need to fix some certain electricals. You know, we also need to fix a part that was leaking. And so he came in and said, oh, we needed to fix some certain electricals, and there were some parts that he also highlighted some things, and he gave a very great report. And also, if you're using any home inspection person, please go on Google and check their reviews. There are some reviews that I was seeing like, hey, but this guy's review is great. If you're interested, if you're in Waterloo region and you want to buy a house and you're looking for a home inspection person, you can DM me, you can send me an email. I would, you know, share his contact. It's not advertised, so I can't say it on here, but if anybody's in need, I can definitely share his contact. He will give you a detailed report. I think either that night or the next day, he will give you a detailed report, like page by page, on everything he inspected, and tell you like what can be managed and what needs to be worked on and what is urgent that needs to be fixed. So he will also give his recommendation on, okay, yes, you can manage this, or you have to fix this, or this should be fixed soon, you know, things like that. So we called the home inspection person, they inspect the house, we paid that much money. Then the price of the house, I know that's what everybody's concerned about. How much? Okay, I'm going to give you a range. It's a townhouse in Waterloo. It's in a prime area of Waterloo. It's a townhouse in Waterloo. So just to give you a perspective, it's in a prime area in Waterloo, and it's about $500 to $600, $600,000, not $600. So that is the range. So I'm just doing the range so that it can guide your opinion if you want to actually buy a townhouse or buy a detached house. Then that being said, we decided to negotiate on the price of the house. Now, most people I know pay more than the asking price. Now that is the asking price, between 500,000 to 600,000. Most people pay more because a lot of people are bidding for it. But in my situation, I didn't have any competition. Why? Because this house was not even listed. You know, when the house is listed and you're working with a realtor, you know, you realize that other people are coming to view the house and everything. But this house was proposed to us. We're not looking for the house. We're never interested in buying a house in 2025. There's a stamp there, I'm not lying. We never had that in our budget for 2025. It happened with God. And sometimes when God is just saying buy or do it, just leave it all to him. Don't force. Because initially, you know, strong head, and I was like, no. But you know, my husband is a very meticulous person. Like, he likes to calculate and know what is the advantage, what the disadvantage. And when we're able to sit down together and we're able to, talk about this thing, a huge discourse, we realize that, oh, it will make much sense. So ensure that it's the right time. If this was last year, it wouldn't happen. Honestly, if this was last year, it wouldn't happen. But this is this year, and we've been able to make progress with our finances from when we started and now. So like I said, the rate of the house is the amount is between 500,000 to 600,000. We negotiated because of the repairs we needed to have done in the house. We negotiated because of the age of the house. It is not a new build. It is a house that have been existing since 1980s. So this house is older than me. So I have to tell you so you can reduce the price. So we negotiated with the seller, and the seller is a wonderful man. Shout out to you, sir. I can't really mention your name here, but the seller is a wonderful man. His wife is also a wonderful woman, and we negotiated and we came to a reasonable conclusion that benefited both them and us. We're not trying to take advantage of them. We're just trying to look at the realities of our finances and realities of, you know, the house itself. You can bargain. Don't just give up and say, okay, this is the amount they tell me, that's the amount that we pay. No, that's why you have mouth. Use it, talk. So we bargained, and we still got a reduction in the asking price. We got a $10,000 reduction plus some certain conditions of repair. So not only did we bargain that the house will be repaired with some of the things we saw from, not all of the repair anyways, we would take care of some. Then some of the things that we felt like were urgent and needed to be treated, they would fix. Then we got a reduction in the price of the house by $10,000. So that is bargaining power. Honestly, we went back and forth for like, I think, a week before we came to a reasonable conclusion. So basically, we finished that. We agreed to the amount of the house, and it was time to look for who we borrow us money, because we did not have over 500,000 to 600,000 to buy this house. We've been in Canada since 2023. We did not have that money. So we needed a lender, you know. So we found a lender, and the lender's rate was good. Currently, you know, I've been seeing ads of 4.6, 4.5, 5%, thereabouts. But we're able to get a reasonable rate. I'm not going to disclose the rates, but the rate is very, very low and very, very reasonable. And we felt like this was the right time to take up that responsibility, because if we miss this rate, we might not get this rate again. So we got this rate, you know, by God's grace, and we submitted our documents. Now, what documents did we need to submit for mortgage? That is what this video now is, the mortgage part that I'm sure is going to be lengthy in this video. Now, for the mortgage, they needed to know, if you're doing a mortgage, please ensure that you don't have a huge loan. If you have car loan, that's why I don't really advise people to go and collect car loan. But people don't listen. People don't do what? People don't listen. They still go and borrow money. They still go and collect big car and be paying car loan. Because, for example, if you have a car loan of maybe $30,000 or $40,000, any institution that's giving you funding for your mortgage, they will deduct that amount that they are paying, that they'll deduct that amount, you know, owed for the car. So, for example, you took a loan. For example, you bought a car of $40,000 and you are owing $35,000. $35,000 will be deducted because they don't want you to owe here and there. So, if, for example, if you are pre-approved for maybe $400,000, which is not even enough to buy the house, they will still remove another $30,000 or $35,000 that you are owing the automobile company. They will remove that. If you don't have student loan, those people are collecting OSAP here and there. If you don't have student loan, if you can afford to avoid student loan and just collect the grant, so the grant can pay your school fees, just collect it. Now, if you don't have student loan, they will still deduct that one. Then if you don't have credit card debt, problem. They will still deduct that one. Then another factor is your credit score. When people are saying, I pay the minimum amounts in my credits. When I use my credit card, I pay the minimum amount. I don't pay everything. Then I max out my credits. You are doing yourself more harm than good. Try and maintain a minimum credit score. Credit score is between 600 and something. You're dangling and you're thinking you are having fun. You're not having fun. No, you are doing shooting yourself in the leg. So if you can avoid to have people do hard checks on your credit, stop applying for credit card here. Stop applying for points card here. Anything that will make them do a hard check on your credit, avoid it, because when they do a hard check on your credit, it reduces your credit to sometimes by 5, by 4, or by 3. I don't know. So I was talking about the mortgage. So yes, we got a lender. We had already done the home inspection. We had already agreed on the price with the seller. So we got a lender. Now the lender, the amount we needed for the house, the lender put in, so the lender will ask for our assets, our total assets, how much we have in assets and how much we have in debts. Now our total assets includes how much you have in investments, how much is your car worth. Then we put it, if you bought the car outrightly, obviously it's an asset to you. If anything happens, you can sell it for a certain price. So we put the price of the car, put the model and everything of the car. Then also like your assets, like how much is your salary, how much you have in investments, in stocks, in anything you have, just put it as your asset there. Then how much do you have in your balance in all your accounts? So you need to put all of that. So it was like an Excel spreadsheet we needed to fill. So you put in all of that information in that Excel spreadsheet. I don't know if everyone does like that, but this is our own experience. So we put all of that information in that spreadsheet. Then the only debt we had was credit card debt, which is very, very minute, you know. So it's not as if it's credit card debt. It's like, maybe I just bought groceries and I have not paid it, maybe like $50, stuff like that. So there was nothing to really deduct from our mortgage. Then what else? Okay, so then the amount we were pre-approved for was higher than how much we needed for the house, you know. But we didn't take the whole amount. Now, some people, if you know that you're not in a good you're not in a good financial situation, you can take more than the amount of the house, so that in case there are expenses or closing costs, that will cover it. But typically the company would like to see where your 5% or 10% or 20% is, like your down payment. They would like to see where it is, and they're going to scrutinize it so that they will know that it's not loan. So if there's any huge amount, especially any amount above 10,000 that enters into your account in a month, they would ask you questions. You provide receipts, you provide proof that this money belongs to you. It's not borrowed money, you know, and stuff like that. To God be the glory. We didn't have to make any explanation. We already had, you know, funds that could cover the down payments. Now those funds did not have to be sitting in an account just looking at us koro. We had funds in FHSAs, and we had funds in joint accounts that we provided to them. Those FHSAs were in investments. Now, because this is a grig bang bang, we had to just do it because the opportunity came. We had to break those investments. Now, those investments that we broke, the interest from January till now, we lost all the interest. But I don't regret it anyways. Something that we can still do again. We just had to break them because they hadn't matured. Like I told you guys, we didn't plan to buy this house. We didn't plan to buy this house, so we just left those FHSAs in investments. And because we needed to buy the house, we had to break those investments, and we forfeited the interest this year. That's from January till now. We forfeited the interest. But anyways, yeah, we submitted all of those information. They asked for statements, so we had to submit statements. Even the FHS statement, every statement of anything money related, we had to submit the statements for that. What else? Then they asked us how much we're paying in rent. They just want to know what is our current expense is and all of that. How much we're paying in rent. We told them. That being said, we got the money. So now we've done home inspection. We've agreed on the price of the house. We've gotten the they will not give you the money. You just get pre-approved. You just get a message or a chat or whatever that this is how much you've been pre-approved for. We've gotten how much we've been pre-approved for. Now the next step was to get a lawyer. Now what will the lawyer do? The lawyer is going to be the one. We didn't get a realtor, so my bad. Before you do home inspection, obviously you need a realtor if you're not buying directly from the seller. But because we are buying directly from the seller, we didn't need a realtor. So it was home inspection, agreement of their price with the house, then we got the lender. So after we got the lender, we got the money. We didn't get the money. What am I saying? We got the lender. Then we decided to get a lawyer. Now the lawyer is the one that will liaise with the seller's lawyer, and they will draw up agreements. They'll draw up the deed of they'll draw up an agreement for you. They'll draw up a transfer of property for you. They will also, if there's any negotiations, they will also document those negotiations. Like I told you in the beginning, we had negotiations with the house. They document those negotiations that it has to be fulfilled upon completion of the house. They will also document if the person has paid property taxes, you know, like future dated property taxes, you have to pay them back, you know, because they cannot claim it back from the government. For example, if the person has paid property taxes for the next quarter and you're going to be living in the house during that quarter, obviously you're not paying the government, you have to pay them back till the money ends. So they will parade that. If the person, for example, has paid condo fees as well, like the next quarter, you also pay. So you have to have money. You just think it's down payment. It's not just down payment too. So you have to pay that. So in our case, it happened like that. The person is very proactive, had paid a lot of things ahead. So we had to pay the person back. I remember I was not telling my husband, like, who sent you to pay all these things ahead? So we had to pay the person back some of that, you know. Then what again? The lawyer will also then land transfer tax. Now land transfer tax, I'll explain what it means. Basically it's just transfer of land to you, right? Then there's an amount you need to pay. In our situation, it was about close to 7,000. I think it was 6,000 something. Now, because you're a first-time home buyer, you need to declare that you've never bought a house before. A lot of people forget to do this. You need to declare that you've never bought a house before. And once you declare that, the government is responsible for giving you $4,000. Now, that $4,000, if you remove, it's about 6,000 something land transfer. Let's just call it 7,000. If you remove 4,000 from the 7,000, now how much do you have to pay? Just 3,000. But if it's not your first house, let's say you've bought a small hut somewhere and you want to buy another house, you are not eligible for that 4,000. But if it's your first house, you're eligible to get that 4,000, and you get you deduct it from your land transfer tax. So land transfer tax, about 7,000. We paid 4,000. We paid 3,000 because government gave us 4,000. Then the legal fees. Now it's not free. This lawyer is not doing anything for you free. So this lawyer is not doing anything for you. Now this is the closing cost I'm explaining. The closing cost includes like some of those prorated advance fees that the owner of the house has paid. We are paying that one. The land transfer tax, we are paying it. Then the legal fees. Now the legal fees in this sense is for him to be able to do all of those information and search for title and search for lien and check if the guy is owing any other bills or payments. If he's owing anything, your lawyer is responsible to search for these things for you. So I'm very exhausted. I'm talking too much. Your lawyer is responsible for searching all these things for you. So yeah, so all of that, the legal fees varies from lawyer to lawyer. The first lawyer I got told me 3,000. Second lawyer I got told me 1,200, but I have to come to Toronto. I say, what, Danny? Another lawyer I got, when they are doing everything virtual, like you can e-sign documents and all of that, but this person said I should come all the way to Toronto. I said, because of 1,200, waiting happen. Another lawyer I got told me 1,500, but he told me I have to do insurance on the house first, which I feel like was a miscommunication. Insurance should be the last thing you do before closing, because I was still shopping for rates, So, but I finally settled on a lawyer, and that lawyer charged me, I think, $2,025, which was okay to me. She met all the requirements my husband and I had. She was good with communication. She would respond her emails. She would, if you call and I hate lack of communication. I hate it. So if you call and she missed your call, she will send you a message or she will send you an email, which is what I actually appreciate. So the lady was very good and hands-on. Until now, if there's any question I have, I just send her an email and she responds, and I'm so grateful for that. So we got a lawyer that we paid $2,025, and our closing cost with everything landed about, I think, about 9K. Yes, I think about 9,000 or 10,000. Let's just sum it up as 10,000. That was our closing cost. So imagine you're paying, the percentage you're paying for the house. I know you'll be asking me, Stella, how many percent did you pay? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Is it 50%? Is it 20%? I wouldn't tell you that, but it has to be based on how much you can afford, Then we paid our down payment and paid extra 10,000. I've been generous enough to tell you how much my home inspection cost, how much my lawyer cost, how much just to give you an idea. But I wouldn't really give you a lot of personal things, so that I don't want someone to come and say, hey, Stella, you have this much money. Hey, no, I don't even have that much money. Or someone to say, Stella, you don't even get money. Just let me be the one to gauge my finances myself. So we paid 10,000 for closing costs. Just a round figure. It's less than 10,000, but let's just say $10,000 for closing costs. So after the lawyer, you have a closing date. So you and the lawyer and their lawyer will agree on the dates that you have to close. Now, this closing date is highly dependent on the person lending you money. So if the person does not speed up, there are consequences for not meeting your closing dates. Let me even explain that part. This video is getting long. Let me explain it, Sha. Now, if, for example, you agree that I will collect the money for the lender and everything will be ready by 15th of August 2025. If for some reason, like your mortgage person, after being pre-approved, they start asking you too much questions, validate how much you have and stuff like that, and by 15th of August, you do not pay, because you will sign agreement, that you must close 15th of August. And some people are not lenient, their conditions are crazy. Now, if on the 15th of August, you do not pay up, or your lender, for example, misbehave, there's consequences for that. If they can ask you to pay a certain amount. Then 2, if the seller now sells a house, if the seller now sells the house lesser than how much, for example, you agreed to buy the house for $550,000, and because you were not ready on that day, and they decided to sell it to someone else that is willing to pay $520,000, that's $30,000 loss. You are the one that will be responsible for that loss, because you made them lose up on an opportunity. So it might not be the same terms and conditions for everybody, but this is the reality of not meeting up with your closing dates. So ensure that your lender is a genuine source, and ensure that your lender. Hey guys, my battery is getting low, but anyways, I was talking about closing dates. So ensure that your lender is able to meet up with the closing date, and basically the closing date is for you to collect the keys. But in our own situation, it was special. I'm going to mention that in the next video. So that's basically our process for buying the house. It wasn't rocket science. Everything was concluded from when we got to know about the opportunity to when we sold from when we got to know about the opportunity to when we bought the house. Honestly, it was less than a month. About 3 weeks we finalized and we closed the deal. So like I said, ensure you meet up with your closing dates. There's nothing else I remember. I think that was it for us. The next video you're going to see is a tour of the house, and I'm just going to explain certain changes that were made, and I'll tell you about the opportunity that we got and why we bought. And okay, I've already told you why we bought the house. I'm going to tell you about how the opportunity came about, and you know, how the closing date was funny in our sense. So also, hey, let me remember to mention this part. Insurance. You also need to pay insurance on the house. Now, as a tenant, we used to pay the tenant insurance, but as a homeowner, you are going to have to pay homeowner insurance. Now, because I'm a tenant, I'm just paying for my belongings in the house, but as a homeowner, I'm paying for the furnitures and fittings, and for example, the fridge, the cooker. I'm insuring everything. If, for example, it was not a condominium I was living on, I'm going to insure the full house, including the exterior. But because I'm still paying condo fees, and condo fees includes like the exterior, I did not do a whole home insurance. I just did for the interior part of the house, which was cheaper anyways. So for insurance, please go ahead and shop different companies, get quotes before you finalize your insurance. And insurance is something that has to be submitted to your lawyer before closing. So that is why I told you that when the other lawyer I got told me I had to get insurance immediately, I said no, I will have to get it before closing. It wasn't a good thing for him, so I had to ditch him for someone else that was okay with that. But your insurance for sure has to be gotten before closing. Now, I know that I've talked about Square One before, which is a good company that is cheap and affordable for your automobile insurance. But honestly, the quote they gave me for the home insurance was higher than the quote I got from TD. So don't just say because Stella said Square One in our previous video when she was talking about auto insurance, you're going to do homeowner insurance with Square One. Shop around. I shopped around. I asked cooperators. I asked a whole lot of all states, but the price I got cheapest was with TD, and it's between $40 to $50. Home ownership is not easy. Buying the house. Thank you so much for the congratulations. Thank you so much for the messages. Those that guessed as well, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. My name remains Stels. I'm your girl. Bye-bye.